right, you guys, it is 5:24. We are all set up. John's got his spiders hanging up. We kind of had to like rig it because I didn't have the fish line, but I mean, it's working. And we already had our first sale. Bluey, he went fast. Ain't gonna make me make another one. So it's warm. It's not as hot as it has been, but it is warm. It's like 88 degrees instead of being 98 degrees, so it's a little better. We'll see how it goes. And the cookie lady's straight across from me again. I'm gonna have to get some cookies. And it looks like a bunch of different people this time. Hopefully it goes better than last time. All right, we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, it's just a little bit after 7 now. So far it's been pretty typical for this place. So let's see if the last 2 hours are typical. And I'm so bummed. I had a lady come by and invite me to do a market at a school, but it's on the same day that I am already booked for a different market. I want to do the school. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to do. I want to do the school, and I'm already booked, and I can't be at 2 places at once. And since it's in December, who knows how much product I'll have left. I don't know if I'm in the other market yet for the first Friday of every month. So, oh my gosh, there's so much up in the air. Don't know what to do. So, I don't know. We will check back in a little bit. Okay, it is almost over. We have like 10 minutes maybe. We usually stick around a couple minutes afterwards because we usually, I shouldn't say always, get a rush right at the very end. But it is nice to report and say the market is back to normal for here. The last 2 were just fluke things with back to school and all that, so it's definitely back to normal. And let me go ahead and show you what is left. It is market recap time. So yeah, we had a decent day yesterday. It is Saturday night. I was having a tough time winding down last night, so I was up kind of late, and yeah, pretty late. And I thought I would be able to sleep in today, But that didn't happen. So I was up for a little while and I was working on a project. I got down to like the last 4 rounds and I went and laid down. So I slept for a good 4 or 5 hours. I was tired. And now I'm wide awake. So I figured, let's just go ahead and knock this out and get it edited, and then my Sunday will be free. So, still not used to the new glasses, so bear with me. So we got to the market, the venue, whatever you want to call it, around 3:30-ish. It was still very hot out, but it was not as hot as it has been. It was like, say, 88-ish instead of 98 and up. It was still very humid. The sky was just as blue as can be. It was great. A little breeze would have been nice. That wasn't in the cards for us. I did have my fan, though. And boy, did it hurt to step away from the fan. So the market runs from 5 to 9. And at this particular market, the best time is the last 2 hours, from 7 to 9. Always has been. Except the one last time. That was a dud. The whole day was a dud the last time. And so we get everything set up. I do my little before video, and then John goes and gets us some cold drinks so that we can have the ice. You know, we bring our own drinks and water, you know, all that stuff with us, but we wanted some ice to keep it cold. So he went over to get us some drinks, and then when he got back, I said, okay, before things get going, I'm going to use the restroom, soak up some AC inside the taco bus. That was really what I wanted to do. And when I got back, he had our first customer. It was about 5:20-ish, somewhere around there. And he did something in Square. He messed it up. I couldn't figure out how to make it work. So I pulled out my little card reader thing and plugged it into my phone and was able to take care of the transaction on my phone. And then I'm trying to figure out what he did. I don't know what he did, but I had to end up closing out the app and reopening it, and then it worked fine. We had no problems the rest of the night. It's just with him, because it's not frequent enough. You know, if he was doing it every day, he wouldn't have an issue. He's like the new guy every time. You know, the brand new employee, the first time ever touching your cash register type of situation. So it's just, you know, not frequent enough. Anyways, so we get that taken care of, and the first customer bought Bluey. And the only reason I made a Bluey was because of Tracy over at Travel Crochet. And, well, she kept saying, like 3 videos, I think it was, she said that she was making the same Bluey pattern that I make, and she was frustrated with it, so she was going to make her own Bluey pattern. And then, so I'm in her live, and she mentioned it again, and I was like, is it the same one? So I pulled up the pattern and opened it up, and I'm like, no, it is not the same one. But, so while I had it open, I was just like, let me go ahead and make one. I mean, the reason I stopped making them was the whole eye thing. The crocheted eyes just look creepy. And I didn't want to cut the felt by hand and have it look like, you know, a 5-year-old cut it. So I finally bought myself the dies and the little cutting machine. You know, you hand crank it through, and got the oval dies and circle dies and all that. So I made my own felt eyes, went ahead and did the Bluey. Long story short, it was the first item to sell. So now I have to make another one, or 2, or 3. I don't know. I'm afraid to get too carried away because I don't want to get stuck with them, which I don't think I will, but you know what I mean. So that was the first transaction of the day. And then we waited for probably an hour before we had our next sale. And then after that, it was pretty steady. So I'm going to read off the list that I can print off from Square. And they do it in, it looks like alphabetical order. There is a way to pull it up with transaction times, like in order that you sell them, which I would rather do, but I couldn't make it print. It won't let me just print it out. I could download a CVS file, I think it's called, but then it's got all kinds of gobbledygook on it. And yeah, no, I just wanted this, how many, you know, that type of thing. Anyways, I couldn't print it, and I don't want to sit back there in front of the computer. So, what did we sell? We had some real cute kids in there. We had some repeat customers in there. Yeah, it was a good night. So, the very first item on the list, it's not the first sale. The first sale was Bluey. The very first item on the list is banana chicken. And if I have pictures of these, I will put them in. If I don't, it's because, you know, I don't have the picture, or I'm just being lazy. But I will try to put the pictures in. Now, banana chicken was a free pattern off of Instagram. I only ever made one. It's been to several markets. It finally sold last night. The next thing on the list are bees, those little bullet bees. Oh my goodness. Why? Why? I mean, they're easy to make, but they're just like a little pill, a little bullet. Why? We sold 2. Bluey is the next thing on the list. The one and only. And I'm going to say that it is a new item. I mean, anything that I made over the last couple of weeks is new, but I mean like new. Like, I haven't had it before. But I must say Bluey's new because it's been over a year since I've made one. So Bluey would be the first new item that we sold. And the same person that bought Bluey bought the clownfish. Those I like to make. Those are something about the colors just make them really cheery. So I get to make some more of those. At least one. We sold both of the wiener dogs, the little dachshunds, that pattern that has it wearing a sweater, but I've been doing them just a solid color without a sweater on. I had 2, sold 2. Then the rubber duck, that is, I call it a dashboard duck in my square. It's a free pattern off of Instagram. We sold 3 of those. And I have a custom order for one for the next time we go back, which is in 3 weeks, for a yellow one with embroidered eyes. So I'm going to make, I really need to like have one little section that is for the littles, you know, the 3-year-olds and under, where I can place items, big and small, with embroidered eyes and have that section labeled for 3 years and under. I don't have very much left. I pretty much have, you know, I haven't made any in a while because I had quite a bit, and now I'm down to just a few octopus and just a few squid, so we need to work on that. And next on the list was the big Brontosaurus dinosaur that I made out of the size 7 yarn. So I think that one went to 3 markets with me, and it is now gone. We sold the standing Fury Dragon, the Snuggle Beans crochet pattern for Toothless, which is standing on all 4s. That one went to 2 markets, and it is now gone. And that was one I did out of Parfait Chunky, and it came out very small. I mean, it's a small item for Shannon, but it was very, very small out of the Parfait because I swear nothing will convince me otherwise. That stuff is getting thinner and thinner and thinner as time goes by. So, Now the one I just did out of the plush, he's a good size and he feels so soft. I love the feel of that yarn. Yeah. Okay, next page. We sold a llama, the one and only llama that I had, and I swear I've had it for over a year, and it's been at, I think, every market with me, and it finally sold. Was happy to see it go. Those are the type of things that I just want to see go away. I have like one of this, one of that. They don't do very well. It's taking forever for them to sell. And I feel like I should just take and dump them all in one bin and like, here, dig through this. So that the other space can be utilized with nicer items, if that, items that might actually move instead of making me pack and unpack every single market. I don't know, just a thought. We sold an Octo Cutie, and I call it an Octo Cutie because it has the embroidered eyes. And that went to a repeat customer. They came in and they were looking, and they've got an infant with them. And I was like, let me point out the stuff that I have that would be considered baby safe, that does not have the plastic safety eyes. So at the time when they came in, I had more than what I do now. And they're also the ones that did the special order for the duck. But they had bought their baby a squid a while back. And now they've got her an octopus, I think. I think it was the octopus. I don't know. We sold a squid too. One of those two. And both of them had the embroidered eyes. So one of those two was them. So, but they're coming back and they're going to get a yellow rubber ducky with the embroidered eyes when we're back there in 3 weeks, weather permitting. So we sold an Octo Cutie, long story. The next new addition to the lineup that sold was an Oogie keychain. So we sold one of those. And the next item is also new. It was the black and white puppy that I did out of Passionate Crafter, I think is the name, that did the Paw Patrol dogs. And in it was 2 just regular dogs without all the color changes for their outfits. She doesn't sell the Paw Patrol anymore, but she does have the dog still, without the clothes on it. So that went, and the young lady who bought that, she was $1 short. But we let her slide. We let her go ahead and buy it. She really liked that dog, and she was being so nice. And I don't know, I just didn't want her to walk away disappointed. So the next thing that was sold was the very last item of the night. I mean, it's the next thing on the list. Okay. And that was Puss in Boots. Now this young man, 12, maybe 13-ish, he came in and he has his mother's, aunt's, guardian, whatever. The lady that he's with, he has her phone so he can pay with Apple Pay. And he's looking at everything, and he really liked Tuxedo Sam. You could tell he wanted Tuxedo Sam. But because it is a more expensive item, he just put it back on the shelf. And he's looking around. He goes to the other side. And I thought I was going to have my first spider sale of the night. At the end of the night, I had 15 spiders, you guys, and not one sold. So he does buy a spider, and he leaves. And about 60 seconds later, if that long, he comes back with the lady that he is with, his mom, whatever. And she asks, can he exchange that and take the price of that and put it towards a more expensive item? Because he was too shy to ask her if he could have the more expensive item. When he went over, he told her that he bought the cheapest thing. And when she asked why, he told her that he was like embarrassed or shy, whatever, to ask if he could spend more. So they came in, and he's looking at Tuxedo Sam. He's got it in his hands, and she spots Puss in Boots and mentions how she really likes Puss in Boots. So he chose Puss in Boots, but I think he chose it because of her, not because it was what he really wanted. So it wouldn't surprise me in the least if they don't come back again, and if I still have Tuxedo Sam, that he ends up getting Tuxedo Sam. Would not surprise me in the least. We'll see what happens. So Puss in Boots sold. The next item on the list, we sold the medium Scrump, which is a Madeline Mako pattern. And one of the smaller sharks, the Teresa Crochet Shop sharks, I feel like I gotta sneeze. It was a little gray one, gray and white. And this little boy, he couldn't have been 2 years old. He was just as cute as a button. He came in, and what John set up the double stacked bookshelves, and he had the shark like right down second to the bottom of the shelf. I mean, so this was like perfect level for this kid. And he grabs that shark. He wants to leave with it, but Dad won't let him. So they put it back, and they leave. And then they come back towards the end of the night, and the dad's like, all night he's been battling that little boy because he kept wanting to come back over. So they came over, and he's walking on his own. He's not being carried. He goes straight for that shark again. And then to get him to hand me the shark so that I could take the tag and the stitch marker off of it, oh boy, he did not want to let go of it. I had to promise him I will give it right back. I just wanted to take the tag off. It was so cute. He was like fixated on that shark. So now he has his shark. Now I hope he still loves it for a long time. The next thing on the list is another new item that we just made, like last minute just made, and that was the little mini stitch pattern. I did stitch in Parfait Chunky and put it on a keychain, and I did stitch in the Premier Basics and sold it as an individual plushie. I just put it in there as mini stitch. Gone. We sold 4 chicks and an egg. Always so popular. Hopefully they stay popular because those are nice, quick, easy make. And yesterday was a lovey day. We sold a couple of loveys. Actually, I've sold quite a few loveys in the last few markets. I think I've sold 4 or 5 of them. And my selection is getting really low. So I'm going to have to make some more loveys. Which I don't mind. It's just they're very hit and miss, when they sell. They're very hit and miss, but if you don't have them, you can't sell them. So, and I like to make them. You don't have to worry about, did I stuff it right? Is it overstuffed? Does it not have enough? I like to make them. So I'm going to be working on some loveys over the next couple of weeks. But anyways, I almost skipped it over. We sold the cow lovey, and it's not going to match the picture that I'm showing you. It was black and white, but it's the same pattern. We sold 3 itty bitty snakes, Saucy Puffin Crafts pattern. 1 mallard mini bird and 1 yellow mini bird. Those are free pattern off of Instagram. There's a million of them there. They're easy to find. They're all pretty much the same. And another lovey. And this one was a puppy lovey. It was like a brown dog. And it was the Mama Made Minis pattern. We sold 1 Myrtle the Turtle. And this lady was funny. I rang her up and she's like, I thought those were $5. And I'm like, no, the turtles are not $5. I only have a few items that are $5. I've been trying to sell through those and having my lowest price point be at $7. But myrtles are not $7 either. Okay, and we sold a baby squid. All right, so the baby squid is the one that the couple with the baby, that they bought and ordered the rubber duck. The octopus was one that John sold on one of my trips to go soak up some AC. So yeah, the baby squid, they said that their baby has slept with the first one that they bought every night since they bought it, so they wanted to get another one. They went last time, but the market was canceled because of the weather. So they'll be back again. And I had to get my dates right because it's the 2nd and 4th Friday of the month. And we have one more Friday in August. So it's 3 weeks away instead of 2. Which is good for me because it gives me a little time. So they'll be back for that. And they bought her another squid last night. Then the next item on the list is mallard on a swing. We sold 2 of those. We sold 2 of the mini loaf cat keychains, which that mini cat is a free pattern. I mean, it's small. Free pattern off of Instagram. The mallards on a swing is the All From Jade water pack for her swings. Next page. We sold 1 Mushy Boy keychain, and that is also, the little mushroom is a free pattern off of Instagram, but it's just the right size, and I add a keychain to it. 1 pickle keychain, which I just freehand because, you know, it's just a little tube. Sold 1 possum keychain, which is a free pattern off of Instagram. And the next item is another new one. That was, actually the next 2 items are new ones that we just made from new patterns that we've purchased. And it was the stitch on a keychain. So both of those little mini stitches that I made, even though they were 2 different sizes with the different types of yarn, both of them sold. Doesn't hurt my feelings. Now, it wasn't a hard pattern. It was different, like odd different, especially the way it was started. And I switched it to bobble stitches for the arms instead of doing 4 single crochets in the magic circle and then another 4 single crochets, and that's it. That's the arm. I was like, what is the point? So I just did a bobble stitch and it worked just fine. My fingers just don't function on those little teeny tiny parts like that. I cannot do it. So I just can't. The next item, I was very excited that they were selling, and it was the plants on the hanging plants. So I made 1 of each style, and we sold 2 out of the 5. The first one that sold was the one that was least liked by you guys. Some of you guys, not all of you. It was the spider plant, and I made it using the new artichoke color. It's like a really pale green. I think it's a beautiful color. But most of you guys didn't like that one. Now, it could definitely add a pop if I would have used a different color for the pot. But, yeah, you guys did not like that one. I did. But you guys didn't like that one. And the other one that sold was the one that I used. It's either Peacock or Lagoon. It's kind of like a bluish green color. Very pretty. So that was the second one that sold. So, and I liked making those. I totally enjoyed it. So I don't mind getting to make some more. And the next item was the bee on a swing. And that one is just using the All From Jade's water pack, her little mini birds, and just playing with the colors. Add a couple antennas and a pair of wings on the back of it, and you have a bee. And the last item on the list is a yellow chick on a swing. At least that's what this says, but it was white. I cheated. Instead of making up a new listing, I just added the little white ones in with the yellow ones. I was being lazy. So now Oh, before I give you the totals, I have to tell you what happened. This woman was walking through. She's part of the parent-teacher association for the local elementary school near that market. And they're throwing a Christmas market. And she was walking through the different venues where vendors were at and passing out her card. And then, you know, they're saying that they're looking for vendors for it. And I'm like so excited. I want to do it. But it's the same day that I'm scheduled for another one. And the other one I did last year, we did over $700 at that one. So it's kind of one I don't really want to give up. So the plan is, and I don't know if it'll work out yet. The plan is I need to find out if the market that's the first Friday of the month, the one I'm doing September 5th, if I've gotten into any of those. If I got into the December one, it will not be possible for me to do the school. Because it would be that Friday night, then the next Saturday. So the plan was, if we're not in that Friday market, and I don't know if this is indoors or outdoors. If it is indoors, we're going to do 2 markets in one day. John and I will get Jenna, I'll pay her. We'll go and help John. We'll be at the one that we're already scheduled for. And if we get to do the school, I'll go to the school by myself. If it's indoors, it won't be a big deal. That's the plan. But the 2 things have to happen. It needs to be inside, and me not getting into the Friday market. But I really want to get into the Friday market. And if we got into the Friday market, even if the other one was indoors, I don't think I would have enough product, because that Friday one should be one that really is really good. Should be. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got to do it in December yet, but it does good in the off season. So I need to know, because I would really, and it's an elementary school, you know, prime age for the plushies. So I would like to do it. Anyhow, so you guys want to know some numbers. So it's a little off, kind of, because when I had talked about this before with doing, like, someone doing a return, I didn't understand how to do it to where it didn't mess up my inventory, but somebody told me in the comments, so I was able to do that where it put it back into my inventory with the spiders. So yes, I still have 15 spiders. I was so disappointed. I really wanted to sell some spiders. I'm like, why? See, it's like that with me on just about everything. All these people say they sell a ton of loaf cats. Not me. They say they sell a ton of Mabel chicken. Not me. Leggy frogs. Not me. Pickles. Not me. You know, just, it's like all these things that would be easy to make, and then these people say they sell a ton. I don't. And I know it's because I have such a big selection, but they don't sell for me. And I forget where I was going. Oh yeah, with the return. So yeah, what was I even saying? Oh my gosh. I get so distracted. Okay, so my gross sales was $606, but I had a $10 return. So that brings it down to $596. And then I had the little girl that was $1 short, but we let her buy the little dog anyways. So that brings me down to $595, which is still really good for that market. It is above average. Normally we average about 500 there, you know, right at the $500 mark. So we're almost at 600. So it was a little better. $476 of that was credit card. $120 of that is cash. and my square fees, which to me always seemed very outrageous compared to other channels that I watch that go to markets. That was $16.23. My setup fee was $58.75. So that left me with $520.02. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. My top sellers, and amazingly, they are all the same price point. Chicks and eggs, we sold 4. Itty bitty snakes, we sold 3. And the rubber duck or dashboard duck, we sold 3. If you go into like a category, like I lump all my swings together and I lump all the keychains together, we sold 6 swings and 7 keychains. So not a bad night for the little stuff. Actually, not a bad night for any of the stuff. Not a bad night at all. So, there's a few things I need to remake. I'm like, I don't feel pressured at all. We sold 45 items total with 33 transactions. So, not bad for 4 hours. Now, I can remember back in the day when I was working as a manager for 7-Eleven, and it would be coffee rush in the morning, and we would do 200 transactions in an hour with 2 or 3 registers open, usually just 2, and somebody on brewing coffee. But so 33 transactions in 4 hours seems kind of slow when you compare it to that, but it was a good night. It was a very good night. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I would have been even more pleased if it was another 10 degrees cooler, like 78 instead of 88, but I was happy with 88 over 98. What can I say? So I'm going to go now, and we will see you on Wednesday. Hopefully I get to fall asleep at some point tonight. You never know. I have probably completely mixed up my days and nights, but I'll see you Wednesday.